Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And we're here to talk about the premiere episode and episode 2 of Celebrity Big Brother.
Woo, we have a lot of Big Brother to talk about. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And Chantele, oh my gosh. I know you've already spoken about the premiere, but I have to dive into it
Give it to me.
because I didn't get to talk about it last night. But
Mm-hmm.
I thought last night's premiere episode was light and fun. Tonight's episode, super messy.
So messy.
So this is gonna be fun. I mean, let's breeze through this premiere episode because honestly, the first half hour was introductions.
Yeah, we've all talked about everybody already, done like our
Mhm.
cast assessment. So we had a pretty good idea of what was going on and like how people were going to most likely interact. So I wasn't really surprised by anybody or like anybody entering the house. But I loved
No,
seeing Carson being kind of like, I am the MC and the host. It felt like he was the head of household.
it felt like this was his house and he was just having a party and inviting
Yeah.
his friends over. Which, yeah, we all kind of knew he was the most connected house guest, but the fact that he got to come in first and then like open the door and be like, "Oh my god, you! Oh, it's you!" and like basically see all of his friends.
He was the best person to choose for that role, though, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he's very charming. He's fun. He has a lot of jokes. Like, sometimes you don't hear the little like comments that he says that are very funny.
Yeah.
And so I'm really enjoying Carson. He was my number one draft pick on my draft. So I do have
Ugh.
Carson. Well, but I have Carson.
Well, I wish I had gotten Carson in my draft. I did not get Carson. Let me just say really quickly, the feeds did just come on. So we do have spoilers for you guys. And as always, we will wait till the end of the episode. We'll do a little spoilers dance. We'll let you know if you want to tune out at that time, you may, but we will talk about what changes have happened. Okay, the other cute thing I thought happened during the introductions, the walk-in, was when Todd Bridges came in. Cynthia, you could legitimately see it on her face that she fangirled over him.
Yes, she like tried to play it cool, but her face was like, I used to have a crush on you, and I probably had a picture of you up on my wall.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, hi, oh my god." Like, very cute, because I'm sure I would have been like that for a few people.
Did you have any pictures up on your wall? Because I did. I did have
Oh,
some.
yes. Oh
Like my
my gosh.
whole wall was covered at one point. It's so embarrassing. I can't believe
Yeah,
I
I'm
wish I
not
took
gonna tell
pictures.
you because then it will
Stop!
age me.
Please tell me.
But
I'll tell you one of my embarrassing one.
oh, what's your Oh, you gotta tell me an embarrassing
It's
one.
so embarrassing. I don't know why, but one of them was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh,
Don't know
I
why.
mean, people do like
I
him.
know back in the day, I can't remember. I used to watch
Yeah,
all of his movies and stuff like that, and I thought he was good looking.
yeah.
So that's my embarrassing one. Like,
Okay.
you're not into that at
Yeah,
all.
I mean, I'm not. I am embarrassed for you for that one, but I get it. People. Okay, so let's just say putting pictures on your wall is a young thing. I was very young with these.
Yes.
Okay. I had Kirk Cameron up on my wall. I had what's his name?
Jason Priestley,
Zach from Saved
Zach
by the
Morris.
Bell.
I
Zach,
can't remember
yeah,
his name
what's
right
his
now.
real name? Yeah. Those were my two that I was like in love with as like a young girl.
I had Luke Perry and Jason Priestley. Absolutely.
Okay. That makes sense. Like 90210, they were
Yeah,
hotties.
I remember being like so cool because I watched the first episode of 90210 when I was like in middle school, and like I watched it
Mhm.
from the beginning.
I was out of posters by then. I was by middle school, I'd burned all my posters, except for my New Kids on the Block. Now I had the comforter of New Kids on the Block. I had the posters. I had all the buttons that I decorated my denim purse with. So that's probably the embarrassing stuff.
I was like New Kids on the Block was like 1 year away from me. You know what I mean? It was kind of like
Mhm.
I just missed it by 1 year, and I was kind of a little bit more into the NSYNC train. And
Mhm.
so I remember like people that if like in my grade went to see like New Kids on the Block concerts, but I just missed it. Just missed it. Leave it to
Yeah.
Beaver Crowd.
If I was in the house and like Joey McIntyre walked in, I'd be like, "Oh, hi.
Can't-
Oh." I would be Cynthia in that moment. That's true. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Okay, enough of the embarrassing stuff. Let's move on. Misha comes in. Chris Kirkpatrick knows who she is. That's basically the highlight there. They're going to do a cheers. And then we're going to get into our first alliance at this point, which kind of starts with Carson, but Todrick is like going to become our central character here.
Yes, and I really liked this. I think they named it the girls and gays. I think it was, and I was like,
Yes.
I like all these people on my draft pick. I got Carson and I have Cynthia, so I'm like, good. They're working together, so they won't be working against each other. I'm like, great. I love these four people working together, so I was definitely here for it. I do think that they're the strongest and best positioned people in general in the house, especially at that time.
I mean, this is a good group of social players.
Hmm.
I think it makes sense for them to align. Did you say everyone? You said Carson, Todrick, Cynthia,
Shayna.
and Shayna at this time are the girls and gays, is what they're calling it at that point. Now Julie's going to come in. She's going to announce to them that they are going to play for HOH that night, and that there will be HOH twice a week, evictions twice a week. And then I loved the way she explained the game in a manner that we're used to her explaining a twist. She's
Yes.
like, and then
With the swelling
nominees
music.
will play for the power of veto and maybe save yourself. It was like, oh, no, these are okay. These are the things we know. Okay. Oh, she's just saying things we
But
know.
she did it in a good way. Like it was effective because I did get duped for a second that she was explaining maybe something new, and you see like Todd being like, "Oh, oh, oh," and
What?
I was like, "What? She's just actually explaining the rules here."
Just the basics. It's just they're like, veto? What? All right, let's play this first HOH. For some reason, Mon Wan is a character this season.
I wait. So
Have we
was
met this
Mon?
Mon Wan
Yeah,
before?
that's my question. Like, am I supposed to know who Mon Wan is? Like,
That's what
have they?
they're acting like, but I've seen no Big Brother fan know what Mon Wan is.
Okay.
If you're Rob from Rob Has a Podcast, it's Nom Now
Right.
backwards.
Oh,
But they've not nominated now. Like there was no surprise nominee, so that makes no sense unless that's just how they came up with the name. Anyway,
maybe we'll have
Monwan
like
is
later
the
on. Nom now
epic
will happen.
fashion designer
Hmm.
that we've seen for years, not knowing that it was a Monwan design. We're gonna now walk on a runway before we do this HOH. I wasn't sure what we were doing with that, but I
I
didn't hate it.
liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just trying to get their bang for their buck for these celebrities. They're just like, let's make them look ridiculous. Let's put them in outfits. Like, let's play up on their,
Yeah.
photographers, paparazzi, all the red carpets. And so they're really leaning into this. And the fact that they got them in this house and they can just basically do whatever they want with them, I think it's hysterical.
Yeah, no, I'm all for big outfits. I feel like they kind of borrowed this from BB Can with those incredible outfits that like Brayden got to wear at the end. Brayden and the guy who won, and
Deshaun.
that girl,
Deshaun and who was third?
Tara.
Tara.
Yes. Anyway, thought it was borrowed from that. Todrick understood the assignment. He actually walked the runway. Actually,
Mhm. His outfit
sachet.
looked really good though. It was cute.
Yeah, there
Very
were some
cute.
good ones. There were some good ones. Okay, now we're just gonna play the puppet string one that we've seen before, basically. But it's going to be hilarious because they're celebrities and some people are just not into it and some people are.
And some people are going to make an NSYNC reference to every single thing that happens in the house. I mean, this one did remind me of the No Strings Attached when
Oh,
they were like the puppets. And so it
yes,
made
true.
sense. But watching these 2 episodes so far, I think I need to have an NSYNC reference counter on my screen. They need to give that to me because it's a lot.
It's a lot. So either it needs to be a drinking game,
Mm-hmm.
or it needs to stop because it's a lot. And also, the music they're giving us is the Muzak version. It's not in sync,
No, isn't it? I thought it was the Wax Street Boys when they had from season 17 when
which
they
were
were doing.
apparently other Monwan designs.
I mean, apparently. But
Apparently.
I thought it was the Wax Street Boys. But yeah, definitely Muzak version. I like give them the rights to at least the real version if you're going to torture us with like all these references.
Can we afford one in sync song if you're going to play them constantly? It's a lot. It's a lot of in sync happening. We have to get a volunteer here at the first because a host is super, super important.
I didn't understand the point of this.
No, I think they legitimately just wanted someone to host, and
For their costume not to get dirty? Like,
the
I don't know.
downside is you don't get to play for HOH. Like, it didn't make sense.
Or maybe they're trying to lob that over to Chris Kattan, who might not be that
Right? And
physically capable.
I was waiting. I was waiting for Catan to say, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do well at this. Let me just go ahead and volunteer." But he
And he
doesn't.
would have been funny doing those like, yeah, like I'm sure he would have
Mhm.
milked that for a little bit.
Yeah, but instead, Todd Bridges is gonna volunteer after a round of silence and people going, "Okay, Todd, sure, all right." He'd be my second guess that it wasn't gonna do well. So okay. But then Chris Kattan is going to fall first.
And it just looked so uncomfortable and like that. I hope that he didn't hurt himself when he was falling. Like it did look kind of pillowless. But yeah,
Yeah, and I do want to say Chris Kattan broke his neck. Like that is a public thing that he's talked about. That is why he doesn't have a lot of mobility. It was like 20 years ago or something. It was a while ago. But that's what's happening. That's what's happening with Chris Kattan.
well, and if I was Chris with tan and I've broken my neck, I don't know if I'd want to be like falling from champagne bottles and stirrups. I
Yeah.
just would be like, I'm going to sit this one out.
But he falls first. Then Cynthia is shortly behind him. Then Shayna's going to fall. Then Lamar, he's trying, but he's going to fall. Now, Chris Kirkpatrick is going to fall. And this is the first time I saw a timestamp at the bottom. And it only said 6 minutes. Chantele.
Oh yeah, all the time like they were really quick. So Chris Kattan fell in like a minute something. Next person was under 2 minutes as well. I have it written down somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Yeah, Cynthia was 1:56. Shanna was 4:35. Lamar was 4:39.
Okay,
Chris,
meanwhile, this segment has taken 15 minutes. They've made 6 minutes into 15 minutes. It is I
long.
was shocked that it had only been 6 minutes at this point. But now we're getting down to it. Carson's going to fall. Then Mariah falls. And now Mariah and Misha, or I should say Misha, has been eyeing Mariah this whole time, saying Mariah looks good. She's a strong competitor. She's an athlete. But Mariah is going to fall at this point, leaving us with Teddy, Todrick, and Misha as our 3 left hanging.
Didn't Todrick say that he wasn't going to be a comp beast, like when he came into the house, that he wanted to like lay low? And so I was surprised that he was sticking it out this long. I mean, the competitor in him might have just been like, I want to win this if I can. Maybe not knowing where he stood with Teddy or stood with Misha, but I was surprised that he was still there.
I felt like he thought he wasn't going to do well at the comps. And then he got there and realized, oh, they all fall in 6 minutes. So this is no big deal. I might actually do well, I think is what he was thinking.
Fair.
But what Todrick's going to do at this point is have a little word with Misha because he's betting on Misha winning. And so he's like, hey, if I fall, will you keep me safe? And she's like, sure. So he drops.
Absolutely. And, making deals while you're hanging out, like doing an endurance comp, or I don't know if it's considered an endurance comp, this one, but maybe outlast everybody else comp. But then Misha decides to, I'm not sorry, Teddy decides to try
Yeah,
her hand at
great
proposing
idea.
a deal. I think so. I think it was an
Teddy's
excellent
like,
idea.
hey, Todrick just did something amazing. Let me try it. And Misha's like,
Yeah.
she's like,
I'm
you
not
know
sure
what?
what to
I
do.
like Todrick. And I was like, oh, oh, your excuse is you like him. Okay. I see where, okay.
I was like, Misha, she's my last pick on my draft. I'm like, I mean, it's great that you're probably going to win, but now you're actually are going to have to evict Teddy because you didn't let her feel safe, that you liked her, that even if you end up putting her up later, like you could have been able to finesse it a little bit. Like now she's going to know that you're not that into her.
That was so awkward. And, but while Teddy's being rejected, she's just going to slip and fall, and Misha's going to win HOH anyway.
We were spoiled that this was a possibility. So, I wasn't surprised in the end. But she's very strong, and I do expect her to do well in a lot of these physical competitions.
Yeah, so it was spoiled that she possibly, I mean, spoilers aren't confirmed, but like possibly she won the first HOH, and I personally thought that makes sense. She's the type of athlete that can't help herself. You put her in a competition, she's going to try to win, whether it's a good idea for her or not, right? So I drafted her in my draft because I thought she might win me some points, but also knowing that if you win the first HOH, you can fizzle real, real fast and crash and burn. And we might be headed on that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm not sure. We're going to get into how we feel about Misha very soon.
Very, very soon. Okay, so at the end of this premiere episode, we are teased that someone else will have a power. There is a gala box. It's going to be a blessing and a curse, but that is how we leave the premiere episode, with that little bit of information and Misha as our HOH. So let's get into episode 2, unless there's anything else you want to say about the premiere.
Absolutely nothing else, because I was so looking forward to having the feeds right after. So like I really had to get right into this next episode because I just needed to know more what was going on. So let's get into it.
Yeah, they did not give everyone feeds last night, but they got into it today. Okay, episode 2. Misha's talking as we suspected. She can't help herself but compete. And she's thinking, let me get all the strong athletes together and form an alliance. She's talking to Todrick at this point. She brings in Lamar. I'm assuming Mariah at this point, but she's not mentioning Mariah at this point.
No. Well, I was like, okay, this is good for Todrick, and like he has he's already set with the girls and gays, and then she had the head of household that saved you or told you that you have some sort of deal. Now she wants to bring you into an alliance. I'm like, you're in a great spot right now. Like, just like ride that wave. Like that's awesome. You're gonna get so much information.
Yeah, Todrick is in the perfect spot. Everybody wants to work with him. He's nodding along. He's protected left, right, and center. It seems like I've seen people saying he's playing too hard on the Twitter streets, but I don't know what you want him to do. Do you want him to say no to an alliance?
He's playing the way that he has to.
You have
the
to.
only part that you could maybe say, like maybe say something or not say something, we'll talk about it in a bit, is when he had a conversation with Misha. So that I can see maybe you could have different opinions as to whether that was a great move. But everything else, he said it's raining alliances, and you have to say yes to an alliance. And if you have to go back on it, that's what you got to do. But I don't think that he was in the wrong here.
No, not at all. Yeah, I have strong words for Todrick here in a minute, but not yet. At this point, you're doing it, dude. Chris Kirkpatrick, Chris NSYNC, I don't know what I want to call him yet. He's going to corner Todrick in the bathroom and say, hey, I like you. Let's work together. Todrick's gonna nod along. Then Mariah in the shower is just openly gonna be like, "Hey, guys, alliance," and Todrick's like, "Okay."
I already got worried for Mariah at that moment. I was like, whoa, oh my goodness. Whoa, whoa,
I
whoa.
was like,
There's no tact here. There's no like, how do you know Teddy wants to do this? Like, have you had a little whisper conversation with her? Like, it's completely out in the open that you're saying this. You don't know what Todrick has going on. Like, I thought that was just I was like worried for her from that moment. I was like, uh-oh.
yeah, if that's how you just throw out the word alliance, I'm worried for you. As she says, do you guys have alliances? As if someone's going to be like, yeah, I'm working with that half of the house over there. What? No.
To make it completely fair, everybody knows everybody's alliance, so then they know how to maneuver the game. Like, no, not Big
No, no,
Brother.
no. So we're going to ultimately get Mariah, Teddy, and Todrick making a bathroom alliance at this point. But then
Oh, this is so bad.
Cynthia does the exact opposite of what I just said. She was like, yeah, I am in an alliance
With Todrick
Todrick. Where I was like, oh, you are?
for the first day.
Okay. So then Cynthia spells it out to Mariah. Yeah, I'm with these people. She says the gays and girls alliance. And then Mariah just invites herself and Teddy. She's like, great. Teddy and I will just join that.
Which is, I'm happy that that's the way that she took it, because if that were me, because you could see Todrick was laying there and he was just like blinking, like because he didn't want to like let it up that like, oh my god, I didn't tell her about this alliance, and like, shut up, Cynthia. Yeah, join our alliance. So I'm happy that she wasn't upset with Todrick for not being fully honest with her, that she was welcomed into this new alliance, or she invited herself into. So
Yeah.
it went better than I thought it was going to go, but like,
Yeah.
messy.
Cynthia's like, great. Now we have majority. This is wonderful. They acted like, yeah, great. This is how we just do things. Meanwhile, Todrick's like, oh, I'm aligned with everyone, just basically. And this is getting complicated.
Well, he's not aligned with Chris Kattan and Todd Bridges, so
no, because apparently at some point here we get a flash to them sleeping, because he's aligned with everyone except for the two people who are sleeping, Todd and Kattan. And then we get a name formation.
I liked it.
Yep. I love it.
Right on the spot, though. Carson, can you give us a name? I was like, what's happening here? This is not how... I mean, it's enjoyable, absolutely. But like, Mariah, I think someone told you the basics, but they didn't tell you how to play.
I think she's got like a little bit of that fan in her. Like, she's giddy. She's like, we're in an alliance. Now we name it. Like, she's kind of got that energy, which is very cute, but I'm worried.
I'm very worried.
Very worried. Yeah. Okay. We gonna get a couple just silly things here. Todd Bridges snores like really bad. Can we get him a CPAP machine? Like, so bad.
I swear, though, that Chris Kattan is hilarious, though. How he describes, I was like, that's exactly what he sounds like. And then he was like doing like, I was like, oh my god, it sounds exactly like Todd Bridges sleeping. I was like, you nailed it.
You did. You nailed it. What I found interesting is that Lamar wanted Chloe to be in the Big Brother house. He was hoping, he signed on that dotted line, hoping he'd be trapped in a house with his girl Chloe and he could win her back.
I mean, it's sweet. I don't think that he has a shot right now. I don't think so.
No.
I love them together. Did you watch their show?
Yes.
I did.
I loved
their...
Yeah, they were so cute together, and I like him, and I wanted it to work out. Yes, he screwed up big time. He made mistakes, but I totally understand why he'd be regretful and want to apologize to her. But I totally understand that she's like, I have moved on
far. Like, it's been a while, and there's a lot that's gone on in her life and in his life that I just don't know if they can get back to that place. I'm not sure.
No,
unfortunately, but it is so sweet, though, that like he still has a soft spot for her
and her whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's like regrets in that kind of way is it's so unfortunate. But hopefully they'll at least get the opportunity to maybe talk again, because he does say that he hasn't spoken to her in a really long time. And so maybe they'll get a chance to reconnect. Maybe they can build a little bit of a friendship, and maybe that's something that could happen in the future.
Yeah,
But
she was there for him through rehab, so I'm sure she wouldn't mind being somewhat friendly, but we all have to keep our space, I definitely have exes that I'm like, "Hey, no, you don't get to be my friend. Sorry." Okay, Misha is going to talk to Chris in sync. She would like him. Well, first off, she's saying she just needs to like form a group. She needs a group. She's head of household. What does she do? She would like to work with him. And then Todrick walks by and she's like, "Hey, Todrick, Chris is going to join our group." Chris and Todrick lock eyes like this because they are already a duo. A duo.
whatever. They're
They're like,
aligned.
oh, us?
Yeah, sure. And then Tawdry's like, maybe we should go upstairs and talk.
Maybe we should get out of the public space and have a conversation up there. So they do that, and they kind of talk about like what her plan would be. They mentioned that Todd Bridges and Chris Kattan are the easy people. They're not really playing. You can put them up. They sounds like they wouldn't come after you kind of vibe at this point. And then this is when we hear Misha say, Teddy is strategic. She's worried about her and would like to target her.
Well, we all kind of knew that was coming. Now, my question to you and to myself is, why do you think that Misha wouldn't have wanted to bring Teddy into the Athletes Alliance right from the beginning? Like, why did she immediately think that she couldn't work with Teddy? I would have brought her in, right?
I would have too, especially the way that Misha kind of was like, I want the strong people together. I thought, great. Well, Teddy is physically strong. She showed that in the first HOH, as is Mariah. Like, you should want to work with those
Mm-hmm.
people. And that doesn't seem to be the way that Misha was actually thinking.
Yeah, it was a little bit confusing. Maybe she just needed a
Yeah.
reason to say why she wanted to bring certain people together, because Chris doesn't really fall into that category of comp beast.
Right.
So, like,
How did
maybe
he
she
get
just
in
wanted
this?
to have a reason to link everybody together. The Athletes Alliance. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of confused on what Misha was really doing, but I do think that Teddy gives off a strategic, like, I'm thinking vibe. Like, she is not a big personality and she seems like she's plotting. So I can see that.
And she's not very warm.
Right.
Like, so from she's kind of standoffish a little bit. And so, like, I would could maybe misconstrue that as being thinking about things or targeting me or whatnot, not feeling
Mhm.
like we're friends or we're doing things together. So I can understand why she might not have felt like Teddy would be somebody that she could work with.
Right. Okay, well, now we're gonna get to this gala gift, this box. What's in the box? What's in the box thing, and we're gonna get a lot more of Mon Juan designs.
What are they doing to these poor celebrities? What I blinked and I looked back and like I see a hat on Misha's head,
A purse,
a purse hat. I
a
was
purse
like,
hat.
it's like, what's happening here?
I was like, oh, they made her put the bag on her head. Like, it
They
couldn't just
did.
be a purse or
No.
a hat. It had to be a purse hat. Okay, but now we learn that the purse hat is, but also thank you for showing Janelle in the star costume.
Of course, I love her little
Thank you.
twirl.
Yes, love that. The purse hat is like a hot potato. We're gonna pass it around, and the last person with it is going to get safety. So let's play an awkward game of pass the purse hat around.
I thought this was great because I was like, how are they going to do this? Like,
Yeah.
what's in the box? Like, how are they going to get? Is there going to be another competition? I was really trying to figure out what this box was going to be. People are like, coup d'etat, blah blah blah, like all these things, and I'm like, No, I just don't think it's going to be that. But I thought that they kind of adopted it from Sequester. There's usually games called like safety change. So it's usually reverse, and you're giving safety to people, and the last people would be, say,
Mm,
nominated or evicted or,
mhm.
kicked out, whatever. And so it was opposite, but I thought it was a good way to have some strategy going on. I loved watching, Misha giving it to Kirkpatrick, because he's like, oh, well, he knows what the plan is. And then he didn't follow through with the plan. But I do like that there was strategy involved with everybody that was participating. So I enjoyed it.
Right. And they had to have strategy, but try not to show their strategy. Very public, and in a short amount of time, you can't like go off and really strategize. Or if you're just Carson, you just sit there on the couch and strategize.
Poor,
Just like,
poor Todrick is like, everybody's blowing up my game.
seriously, he's like, stop talking to me. Are you kidding me right now? Carson's like, what? This isn't Sly? What?
You're talking like this.
But we are going to end with Mariah is third to last. So this turns out to be the pivotal spot. Luckily, at this point, they kind of are like, oh, formation is the last group. We're pretty safe here. But Mariah has to choose between Cynthia or Shayna. And she is going to give the bag to Shayna, giving Cynthia the safety.
Yeah, I expected her to do that, just because we saw that she had that particular conversation with Cynthia. So I don't know if she had a conversation with Shayna, but knew Shayna was in the group. But I think that she just had a
Right.
little bit more of a connection with Cynthia. And I think she even mentioned that she likes Cynthia. So I was
Mhm.
expecting it to go that way.
Now, at this point, we learn, though, that there is still this curse. It's a blessing and a curse. And even if you aren't nominated come eviction night, you could still be evicted,
Yeah, I
it
was trying to
says.
figure out how this was going to work. And this seems, tell me if you agree, it might be a little bit production metally. So if like
Mhm,
somebody's up on the block with the potential of going home, they'll like activate this thing, or I don't know. It
mhm.
just seems as though it's an opportunity to save somebody that they want to keep in the house. That's what I'm feeling.
Absolutely. And it also feels like something should be tied to Cynthia, right?
Yes.
If she has the safety somewhere in there, she gets some sort of say or something
You'd
with
think.
her, you would think. But it could also be, I feel like some shows do this where you get a celebrity, but they refuse to stay the whole time. And they say, but I want to be the first one out.
Right.
So I will be interested to see if this is a completely random eviction and they're playing it off like a twist, but it was someone who had to leave first.
I feel like someone that wanted to leave first is likely. This,
Mhm.
we were wondering last season with Scaramucci, like, did he have that, like, oh, I'll just be on for like a week's worth of shows and then I'm done, or quit, or what?
Yeah,
I don't even know. I still don't even know what happened there. But
right.
I definitely agree, even with like, say, the Masked Singer. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy, he wanted to be off 2 weeks. That's all he wanted to do,
Yep.
or 1 week, first out. Like, yeah, they definitely have it in their contracts.
100% on Mass Singer. They do that all the time. Okay, so Misha and Mariah are going to talk. And okay, so these are my two on my draft. I only have two people,
Oh
and
my
it's both
gosh.
Misha and Mariah. And I was
You
like,
must have
here
sweating.
we go. Give me my girls. They're going to be Athlete
Points, yes.
Alliance. Let's go. I'm so excited. Misha's like, Mariah, I wanted to do like an Athletes Alliance. And Mariah handles this very well. She's like, great. But she's keeping her mouth shut. And then Misha says, so I'm going to nominate you. And I was like, wait, what?
I was shocked by that too. I was like, whoa, you're asking her to be a pawn? I was
In
like,
your first conversation, you just invited her into an alliance. And then you said, can you be a pawn? Like, this was not bringing you into an alliance conversation. This was
no, this is
awful.
asking you to be a pawn because I'm head of household.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. I was on quite a roller coaster for that conversation. Didn't like it. She spills the whole plan. She says, I'm thinking about I could put Todd Bridges and Catan up. I want to backdoor Teddy.
And then you
But
saw Mariah's face just like completely like fall, and her cheeks got red. And I was like, she has a very different energy. Like if I were to be reading her, like in the room with her, I'd be like, oh, I said something that she doesn't like, and
yeah.
I would, yeah, my ears, my antennas would have been poked up.
Now in the edit, it looks like she kept her mouth shut,
Mhm.
but she seems like a chatty person. So I wonder if it was just the edit, and I wonder what she actually said to Misha. But ultimately, of course, then she's like, but I might need someone to play for the veto, and you're so good.
Stop.
You'll be a pawn. I mean, the whole thing was just a nightmare. And Mariah is going to be like, oh no, my beloved formation alliance, I need to go talk to Teddy.
But like, this is what I didn't understand about this.
Okay.
It's week one, right? So like you don't have any sort of alliance. Like it's not your long lost friend. Like it's like you don't know these people very well. You just named
Yeah.
the alliance yesterday, but you're still an option to be put up on the block. So why are you trying to save Teddy at this point? Like at this point, you should be like, no, I am going to go on the block so I can win the veto, so I can save like her or something like that, or whatever, something. But it was just she mishandled this entire thing. Well, both of them did. They both did a poor job.
Yeah, there's a lot of mishandling right now. I'm honestly torn on the way that Mariah handled it because I know it's early, but you want to be loyal to the alliance that you formed, right? So if you get intel and you don't bring it back to your alliance, then it could look fishy or shady later. Like this is a tricky spot, and I can see both ways of playing it. I can see revealing information to your alliance. I can also see keeping it quiet until a later point in time or figure something out. So I am torn on the way that Mariah handled this.
Well, I totally agree with you with like you want to be loyal to formation. I get that. But she kind of also said yes to an alliance with Misha, right? So she does
Mhm.
also, in a way, owe Misha a little bit of silence and a little bit of, respect for that conversation that they had. Like that was a private conversation with alliance members. So I think that she should have maybe been a little bit craftier, maybe with how she
Mhm.
delivered it. Maybe just be like, I was talking to Misha, and I don't know, she didn't seem favorable for you. I don't know what's happening. Like I don't know, something else, and not
Yeah.
just divulge everything, because
Mhm.
if everything gets back word for word what you had a conversation about with the head of household before nominations ever happened, it's just like not a good look. So
Yeah. You gotta tread lightly when it's the HOH. If it was just someone else random,
yeah, I can deal.
it's different, but the HOH is different. Well, Teddy's not gonna keep this information to herself. She's gonna go tell Todrick, the center of the house, and so he is, like, floored that Mariah has given this information out, which, by the way, he knows. He decides that he should also keep his mouth open and running, and he's going to tell Misha all of it.
Now, I've been trying to figure out whether or not I like this move or not. I'm thinking that he wants to frame Mirai.
Yeah.
I think that he feels as though she's a liability, and he's choosing to be more loyal to Misha because A, Misha is going to be a comp threat, to a certain extent. B, Mirai kind of invited herself into this alliance. Like he didn't choose her, she chose him. And so I think that he just wants her kind of gone, or doesn't care for her to be in the game necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously feels very little loyalty to her to throw her under the bus like this, but I am not torn on this. This is not a good move. This is messy. This is rat gameplay. Like, if you want to play this game, then you just be prepared because this is not going to go smoothly. Things are going to come back to you. You have so many alliances, and for you to just like dish information like this, that's super, super dangerous for him to do.
Well, I think that's why he's going to make sure that Mariah leaves, because he kind of has to, bury the bodies, like get her out of here, just so that he doesn't have somebody that can, let people know that he's duplicitous.
Okay, he does know that he had a majority alliance though, right? Like nobody cares about numbers at this point? No? We're just going to throw that right out the window? Okay.
Well, I think he feels protected on his own.
I mean,
And so I think
yeah.
that he's more so playing for himself and his position as opposed to the group.
Well, this is going to lead Misha to sort of rethink things. She doesn't want Teddy to feel like she's the target, which I'm not really sure why you care about that if she truly is your target, but she cares. So she's kind of fishing, kind of hinting, kind of just talking to Teddy. We see
Teddy's
in the
on like the elliptical.
gym. Mm-hmm.
And one thing that Teddy said, though, she's like, she said this to Mariah, like, I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass. And I was like, well, you kind of have to a little bit in Big Brother. You kind of have to make nice with the people that are making the decisions at times.
Mm-hmm.
And so she kind of did it. And Misha didn't really need that much for her to, take some sort of weird deal between the two of them. So the little
Right. So
ass kissing worked.
Teddy offers up like, hey, why, if you can keep me safe, don't nominate me. Then I won't nominate you. Like it's just a classic little offering up here, tit for tat. We don't have to be in an alliance. We're not going to final two, which is really, really good on Teddy's part because she knows enough that like Misha's not 100% sold on her. She knows she just needs to like do a little deal like that. And this kind of makes Misha rethink. She kind of seems into it at this point, and it does seem like her plan is changing at this moment.
I mean, I definitely thought it was a good compromise from Teddy because she didn't want to grovel. So great. But I was definitely shocked that Misha like bit. Like she has somebody that's a target that kind of knows that Misha doesn't want her in this game at this point. And she's going to take this little mini deal when she still could just get Misha Teddy out of there and it'd be fine. So it's just, it was just strange that that deal was able to sway and completely turn the plan upside down. Because Teddy offered like 1 week of safety, basically, like nothing.
But also she was like, oh no, Teddy knows she's the target. Now I don't want her to be the target. If she's your target, she's your target. Like, why would you change your target because they know each other or they know about it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's confusing. Yeah. Well, now we're going to have a so random conversation with Misha and Carson. Carson's up in the HOH room, just being the cute little Carson that he is.
I'm obsessed with him.
And she's like, hey, love you. You're great. I'm going to offer you safety and I'm going to put you up. Okay, those two things with those, that's you just said 1 + 1 is 14 is what you just said.
I promise you'll be safe. What?
That's not an offer of safety. You said, okay. And he's just like, oh, okay. And she's like, but you're not going anywhere. Everyone likes you. They won't vote you out. Oh, these are not good words. This is all no.
And he's like, I can't really say anything to this. I just have to smile and nod and just allow this to happen and just be stressing out on the inside.
So we're like, okay. Chris Kattan and Todd Bridges
are just
not options anymore. We've just don't care about the two guys who are apparently not playing and would not be dangerous threats to you. Okay. Because now we're going to go to the nomination ceremony and we're going to get the noms of Mariah and Carson.
I'm still confused. Is this a backdoor plan?
How did we get here? How
did we get here?
We started with Todd Bridges and Chris
Which I
Kattan.
was fine with, to be honest.
Yeah. And then we ended up with one of the most liked person in the house, Carson, and Mariah, who
This is a sweet angel. Like
she was liked, and you might have wanted to work with her. Ugh, God, Nisha,
well,
I'm so
even
worried
Chris
about you.
Kattan, who's not playing the game at all, was like, "What?" Like
Yes.
he was shocked. He was shocked. If you're shocking Chris Kattan, then you're doing something wrong with your nominations.
Chris Kattan's like, you're supposed to nominate me. I'm not doing anything.
I only have 1 week contract here. Like what? Like
Chris is like, I'm leaving. What are you talking about?
like this is
Why aren't you nominating
you're
me?
backdooring me. Okay.
Oh my gosh, this was so bizarre. Oh, also Cynthia's wearing the purse hat during this. Her paycheck better be huge. I mean,
how much they usually get paid for it's like an appearance fee for this?
I mean, celebrities, they get paid by the episode.
So it'd probably be like at least 20 grand, I would say. Because like
I bet
TV,
they get 1,000 an episode.
1,000? That's not enough money.
It's not a lot. They don't get paid a lot.
Well, I mean, regular people get $1,000 a week stipend. So, in episodes, I guess like,
an
so that'd
episode.
be 3,000 a week. That's not good.
Yeah. No,
Karen,
that's about
that's not even what you call it scale. Like what about the union?
They're not union. They're non-union. Do you know how much they get paid on Housewives? Less.
No,
the Housewives get paid so little.
I only hear about like Candy getting paid $1 million an episode. So
the way that they make their money is by their Instagram and their book deals and their endorsements. Yeah, it is not
$1,000 an episode. Like I make more money than that when I go to work. You know, like that's insane to me.
Maybe 5,000 a week. I would no way they're more than 5,000 a week.
That's not any money at all. So they must have gotten a nice chunk then, maybe to like, okay, we'll give you 20 grand to show up and you'll get $5,000 for every week that you're here. That sucks though. Like not even 50 grand if you last the whole time and lose. That's not
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm only talking from the shows that I've worked on. And I know that what the housewives make, but they're not getting that much, guys. It's not as much as you think. That's for sure. But maybe
like
it's
regular
more than what
film
I'm saying.
and television. Like I know people that have been leads on shows and they get like 50 grand an episode. I know
That's
it's a
SAG.
lot more. I know. I guess
union. These are not union.
I don't know what non-union means. This is insane to me.
It means they've got no protection and you can pay them very little.
Wow. I mean, I know that they do that with commercials, but like I just didn't even think because Big Brother Canada is union, so it's like at least I've seen like the extra thing on the bottom, so I know they're complying with the union in some sort of capacity. But like, sorry, I'm just floored.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'll see if I can find out. I don't know if I can find out, but it's I don't know. It's not much. Maybe 1,500 an episode. It's not much.
It's not good.
But they get 3 episodes a week if they last.
It's like $5 an hour. Like it's so bad.
I know because they live in the house. It's true. These are not actors. They're not part of the union. And it's not a union show. I know that. I because I'm union, I wasn't even allowed to do something that I was potentially going to do for Big Brother. It's a non-union show. They're not
brutal. You like broke my heart here. Like I'm so pro-union that like I can't believe that's the one thing that like doesn't really happen in Canada. Like most things become unionized because people will rat out the non-union productions so that the union will come in and make them a little deal to make things union, and they make it a lot more enticing to become union, that all the good projects are going to be unionized. So I don't even know what I've never not been union. I've been union my whole life.
Yeah, I wonder how that, because obviously Todd Bridges is going to be union.
So maybe there's
I don't know what the workaround is.
Todrick's probably union. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. Has he done any acting? Like the stuff like he and Carson do, the hosting, that's not SAG.
Well, what about commercials? Like I mean, maybe not in the States, but all commercials in Canada, most of them are union. That's a lot of people get their first credit is like by doing a commercial.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, most commercials are. So maybe, I
My
mean,
mind's
I
blown
imagine
right
they've
now.
done commercials. I know, right? All right. Well, I don't have all of that facts in front of me, so I'm sorry. I that we've even gone down this stretch, but
Okay.
the important thing is Cynthia needs to be getting a lot of money to wear
To
the
wear that
this on
hat.
her head. Yes. She needs more than $1,000 to put that bag on her head.
After everybody else has had it on their head. It's a little bit weird. Pass the lice around. There's nobody has lice. I'm totally kidding, but still weird.
Oh God, hope not. All right, you guys, that's the end of episode 2. So do we want to do some spoilers? Go. Spoilers, spoilers. Yes, Chantele. Yes. Okay. Live feeds did go up right
Okay,
after
I
the
don't know
episode.
anything. So like I'm hearing everything for the first time right now. And I don't know any of even like Twitter stuff. Like this is all new to me. So I'm excited. This is the face of real reactions.
Carson is not on the block anymore.
Figured.
Teddy is on the block.
Okay.
Sitting next to Mariah.
Okay. I'm fine with this because like I just didn't want something silly to happen and Carson to be evicted because of the fact that he's so well liked.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, so did Carson win or did someone, do you know if somebody took him off?
I haven't seen that info, so I'm not sure how he got taken off, but it seems like maybe she's still doing her backdoor plan. So whether Misha won or Carson won, or it's just someone else aligned with Misha was willing to take Carson off so that she could put Teddy up. And I guess she didn't really take that deal with Teddy.
Good. Okay, because it wasn't a great deal. Like it was an okay deal, but it wasn't a great
It's
deal
okay
for
deal. I mean,
okay,
if she's
that
your if you want her out, get her out. Like,
get her out.
like don't change your plans.
I wonder why they couldn't have shown us the feeds from yesterday then. Like I thought that somebody had quit or something really dramatic had happened.
I think
But
something dramatic happened. I mean, I've been here with you, so I don't know. I'm only reading updates, but that something had to have happened for them to not follow through with the feeds after the first episode.
have we counted people in the house yet?
Ooh, good question. So maybe it seems like there might have been a fight. Well, who's the drama, you guys?
Am I the drama? Have you seen that TikTok?
No,
You
I've
the drama?
seen no
Am I the
TikTok.
drama? I'll find it for you. It's so funny. It's like this little kid. Am I the drama?
It does seem like active feeds, like people are. Oh, I'm seeing that it's a split house. Oh no, it does not look like Mariah is doing well though socially. Oh gosh. Well,
Is she
I mean, this
crying?
is.
Because she was
I'm not
crying
seeing
at the
crying.
nominations, and I saw
Yeah,
Chris Kattan give her a hug.
right. Teddy versus Todrick, we think. Oh, interesting. Y'all told me Teddy was going to be
Oh,
boring.
maybe it got back to Teddy that Todrick told
I mean,
Misha.
Todrick's going to get exposed. There will be a Todrick exposed party. If that's what Teddy did, I will not be surprised. I mean, my gosh.
But okay, will it affect who's it going to bother? Right? It's not going to bother Misha. Carson will get over it. Doesn't care. I don't think that Shayna or Cynthia are really going to care about this. It's really only going to be maybe Mariah and Teddy that are really going to care. Chris
That
Kattan might
Todrick
care.
is in an alliance with everybody and being a rat, that could blow up on you.
When you say
I
it
mean,
that way, that's
depending on, what has come out. That we don't, I don't know yet exactly what is coming out. But if Teddy's like, oh, this is information I told Todrick's spilling. But I think that Todrick has more people in his corner, at least so far, than Teddy. So if they don't all just turn on Todrick, he's got the bigger army. But he's going to get exposed, okay?
Maybe he already did, and that's what they wanted to save for the episode. They didn't want us to see it.
Right. Well, so tomorrow we have a 2-hour episode that's like chock full of everything, apparently. We're going to see the veto. We're going to see noms change. We're going to see whatever this other twist is. And then we're going to see somebody get evicted.
Right. So I'm happy to have a jam-packed episode, but I think I would have preferred to digest it for the last 9 days.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's not good for me. I love watching the feeds. It's the way I like consuming Big Brother. And I watch the shows for the diary room and seeing the competitions, you know? So I'm happy that the feeds are back. I'm going to go on there, and I had to do some detective work to see like what the hell happened, which is kind of fun.
Yes.
Are you doing daily or like every couple days?
No, I am not. This schedule is intense as it is. I will not be able to do live feed updates as well, but I will be live Friday after the shows, which hopefully will be evictions every Friday, I guess, if that's the schedule.
I think Monday, Friday, or maybe not Monday.
Right.
Or Tuesday,
so I will be live Monday with David to talk about Sunday and Monday's episodes, and maybe maybe Wednesday is the eviction. But so I will be live for the episodes, just not the live feeds. But we'll give you the spoilers anyway, guys. We'll give them to you.
Ding!
Ding! Chantele, when are you going to be live? When are you
I don't even know. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm going to do my best to go live after every episode, but I might do guest appearances maybe with you or maybe with Rob as a podcast. And so what I have been doing lately is making a page. And so it kind of will just like direct people if I'm not going live on my channel. So people will know where to go. But I will be talking about every episode after the episode. I just don't know where all the time. So check Reality Realness, and either I'll be going live or I'll tell you where I'm going to be.
Right. Follow Chantele. She will let you know where she's going to be. She's all over. All over. And so make sure that you are subscribed here and over on Reality Realness. And oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So I'll be back tomorrow after the eviction with David, actually. And then otherwise I will see you guys back on Monday after that episode. But before that, Chantele and I will be on Twitch for Survivor Australia on Monday.
I was like, should we change it? Like, no, you're just before you guys go live with Big Brother.
Yes. We'll do it before the episode airs of Big Brother. And
Jojo might want to come crash our watch parties.
Anytime.
All right. He's like, all right. He hasn't watched it yet. And I was like, I can't talk to you until you're caught up with this week. And then you can come and hang out with us.
It's so good. I'm seeing people catching up on it on Twitter, and they're realizing how amazing the season is starting. Y'all, Sandra and her daughter. Oh my God. So good. Okay.
TV's so good right now. I'm so happy.
TV is so good right now. Don't forget those thumbs up on your way out of here, and we will see you guys next time. Good night.